Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rum on the Couch video number 41. Dave here from Manchester Rum Festival. For this video I wanted to actually reply to a question I posed on, I think it was Instagram several weeks ago, in regards to what brands would everyone who follows this page would like to see. And one of the ones that's always stuck out in my mind, and I can't believe I've not got around to sort of showing it off, is actually something you can't pick up anymore. And that is 10 cane rum. Now, from a historical point of view, in my experience, this is something I used to actually sell in a bar when I worked in South Manchester. I remember buying a couple of bottles because it was something a little bit different. The bottle shape itself, I mean, that's not your classic tall, thin, Bacardi or Havana Club bottle or anything like that. The fact it was from Trinidad and Tobago as well meant, in my mind at that time, we're talking 15 years ago, was something like, wow, Trinidad and Tobago, I only know Angostura, so this must be something quite unique, or at least very, very different. So I was actually quite happy. I think it was Benali James, the wife of Stephen James, who is of the Rum Diaries. If you're not following that blog, or both of their escapades, and Benali loves a bit of foods from Barbados especially, and always posting up some great recipes. Give them obviously a follow if you can. But it got me thinking. I thought, you know what? Obviously, I've tried to focus on rums that are either on its way into the UK or have obviously already here, and the vast majority of my collection is of such. But I did realise there are one or two bottles that I've had, and now they've been discontinued. So there'll be potentially 2 or 3 more in the coming weeks and months. But I thought this would be a really good start for this. So I apologise now if it sounds good. I don't think you can pick it up anymore. But let's give it a go anyway, because it's been a while since I've reacquainted myself with a bit of 10 cane. Because at the time, this was one of my favourites. So I'll just double check it. It's 40% ABV. And according to the bottle, there's not a lot, obviously, on the internet anymore regarding this. Sort of predates the kind of rum bloggers to an extent. But 40% ABV from Trinidad and Tobago. And what the label says here is it actually uses sugarcane, pure sugarcane. So more juice than molasses. And the only reason why I know that is the first pressing of virgin cane. Individual canes handled ever so carefully, then double distilled to bring out their natural flavour. A decadence apparently, according to this, unachievable with molasses, which could be quite contentious these days, but anyway. So obviously I don't have an age statement, but I don't know if you can really tell with the liquid, or sorry, the colour of the liquid in the bottle, but it has a straw colour. Reminds me of the sort of, slightly deeper than say Havana Fria. So I poured it into my glass, got a good old Glencairn, and the first thing I do pick up is actually quite a subtle sugarcane grass note. A little bit of, in a way, honey butter. I know it's not really two things I think of putting together, but it has a slight buttery element, sort of like lemongrass, but slightly dry lemongrass. But it has that sort of honey oil-esque aroma to it as well. So actually, there's a little bit of vegetal within all this, just at the back. All right, let's give it a taste. Like I say, it's 40% ABV. Oh, that's not what I remember. Although obviously, the last 15 years, my palate has upgraded, shall we say. It's actually quite dry, very middle of the tongue. What's that? Very vegetal, lots of lemongrass. That real, to be fair, agricole-esque element does come through. I like agricole. I love that, the use of sugarcane juice. Second sip, you actually get a bit more of a smooth, buttery feel, especially on the side of your gums. Very, very scented. Something I don't really quite remember. I remember having this in a daiquiri at the bar that I brought this bottle into. And I can still see it working quite well. I wouldn't say tea punch perhaps, I don't think it's strong enough. the traditional sort of sugarcane juice cocktail, especially obviously in the French West Indies. This obviously being Trinidad, it's more English colony, so a classic daiquiri. Yeah, I still shake it. I was going to say maybe just stir it down with maybe an old-fashioned S, so I'd perhaps put a bit of orange water in here. Pardon me. But it's actually quite a lingering, smooth finish as well. Not as harsh as I seem to remember, but like I said, that was 15 years ago. I'm surprised this bottle's lasted 15 years. A little bit watery, not as thick, but not as thin. It's a kind of, that doesn't make any sense, does it? Sort of the texture of water. It's not as rich in molasses, which obviously I know this is sugarcane juice, so that sort of does tick that box. But it does disappear quite sharpish actually. It's not as long as I seem to remember, but then again, I think anything at the time, 15 years ago, when I was first trying something different to compare to, I think we stocked Bacardi, Havana Club, Myers, Gosling's Black Seal, obviously Chairman's Reserve, that very first time I ever experienced that from St. Lucia. So obviously this was doing very different, especially being a young age rum as well. You don't really get as much of the barrel element towards it. I can't really get any kind of cedar wood element. I can't really pick up any sort of dryness that I would naturally receive from a young rum, but unless they coloured it, which I doubt it, but to be fair, you never know. But I do like the bottle. I've just realised it's got the word rum embossed on the side, so it's a great looking bottle, it really is. So, like I said, there's actually not a lot to talk about this one in regards to production, the historical background. I know it was brought in by LVMH, or Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, in the EU especially. And I believe, I remember looking into this possibly about a year ago. And I'm fairly sure it was luxury rum, obviously fitted in with their portfolio quite nicely. Obviously Moet Hennessy being champagne driven. But I'm just guessing at the time it came out, so we're talking like 15 years ago, it probably just out of place at the time. It may work again now, but I feel like they may have to upgrade the liquid. You're up against stuff like, well, to be fair, Angostura itself, which has had a great refocus in the last couple of years, especially their new packaging. But you're up against things like Dawley's, you're up against Chairman's Reserve, you're up against, to be honest with you, things like Havana Club and Bacardi, who have really upped their game in regards to how they're promoting younger rums. So it probably would get lost in the shuffle now. It would need a bit of a refocus, but I like the bottle. I really do. It's just different, and it's a good weight behind it as well. The fact it's got a cork top, this annoys me a little bit, but I've just not taken it off. But it's actually got a Saccharine officinarum, which apparently Trinidad, the King's Bourbon. I've just realised the sort of motif behind the actual main label itself. So yeah, I remember liking this, and to be fair, I still do. I finished the glass nearly, so it's always a good sign. So, ladies and gents, I apologise for if it's intrigued you enough to potentially have a look for it. I mean, there may be one or two liquor stores and retailers across the world who may have a bottle. I'm not sure how much it would be. I couldn't hazard a guess. But if anyone's still got a bottle on the back bar, perhaps in the rum-focused places, or especially more the high end that Moet Hennessy would have focused on, I suppose, at the time, give it a go. You know, let me know what you think about it. Obviously, this video is now going to be on YouTube as well. So if you've not seen us on YouTube yet, give us a follow. Just search for Rum on the Couch. Subscribe and like the pages, and fingers crossed I'll see you on Rum 42, because I'm going to look at something a little bit different in regards to mixers, because I'm a massive fan of rum and tonic, so I'm going to take a little diversion, still using rum, but let's see what rum and mixers can really do as well. So I'll see you all, ladies and gents, on the next Rum on the Couch episode. Thank you.